during our show, we've been doing something. Do you remember, were you on the show on 93.7 with Harvey Warfield, Boston Music Showcase? He used to play you guys a lot.
Yes, I mean, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I knew Harvey well, and I'm trying to think if we ever actually went on his show. I think we did.
Yeah, because I was the producer. Yeah, I've got pictures of Hirsch, so I
so
think
we
you
must
were
have,
there
we
too.
must
Yeah.
have, because the AAF was all over our record, so.
All right. So the demo that got the deal is a show I created, and Harvey would ask the question, but I wrote all the scripts. And we probably had you on, but since we're doing it again, what was the demo that got the deal for the band New England?
Okay, it's interesting you asked that, because I was trying to think of that on the way over, thinking you might ask that. And I can tell you that what happened with New England was we did 3 demos, and I had a friend in Philadelphia that was putting up the studio time for us. And so we did 3 songs the first time, and we were liking it, but we were critical of ourselves. We did, I think, 4 the next time. So we did that 3rd demo, and Don't Ever Want to Lose You was on there. I believe Alone Tonight, Hello, Hello, Hello. And I can't remember what the 4th one is. It might have been Shoot, but when we heard that demo, we just thought, I think we got something here. And we did. We started playing it for some local promo guys around town, and they were just like loving it. And then we met Rick Aliberti, who worked with Bill O'Coin.
Oh.
And he actually came to see us play at our little, rehearsal place in Braintree. And then he brought Bill O'Coin in, and then Bill O'Coin brought Paul Stanley in. And then all of a sudden, all these record companies were coming to see us. I mean, Ron Alexenberg, Clive Davis, was in our little room. Clive really, really wanted the band. But Bill steered us toward the Infinity deal. But all of these, we were just, are you kidding me? All of these, and they were record presidents coming down to see the band.
Well, Bill O'Coin had a good track record.
He had a great track record.
And a good ear.
Yep.
Boy, if you went with Clive, things might have been different.
Things might have been different. I know that although we loved working with Mike Stone, and he helped make our sound, but part of Clive's sales pitch to us was he wanted Alan Parsons to produce us. And that certainly wouldn't have been so bad either.
No, not at all. Didn't Alan engineer the Beatles?
I think he was involved with some Beatles, and of course a lot of the English stuff, and of course the Alan Parsons Project he had, with his own band eventually. But I think Supertramp. I think he did early Supertramp stuff.
Now, just to finish up on this, the 3rd set of demos, where were they done?
They were done in Philadelphia.
Oh, so you did
They
them
were all done in Philadelphia. So we had
Oh.
a guy by the name of Steve Bruno owned a studio down there, and he just happened to be a friend of mine. And
Steve Bruno,
Bruno. And we ended up, when we got signed, he got a nice piece of change for putting the time up, so he got paid well. But that we wanted to take care of him because that, he helped us out. But yeah, so we had a recording studio too, and you had to, back in those days, you had to have a recording studio. There were no home studios.
No.
There was you couldn't afford to have a tape recorder, but today, of course, you can.
Now, Philadelphia is interesting. Jerry Ross is from there. He wrote, I'm gonna make you love me.
Yeah.
And he produced Sonny for Bobby Hebb. Jerry's being inducted into this Walk of Fame October 24th down in Philly. He just wrote me today. He's one of the great 60s producers. It's just interesting. Philadelphia is such a great scene.
Yes.
Pat Martino came out of there, Chubby Checker, Ernest Evans, and even the Joe Pesci. They were all like a little club.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci, Chubby Checker, and isn't that strange? A movie actor, great jazz guitarist, and a pop singer who did the twist.
And then, of course, another Philadelphian, our 3rd record we did with Todd Rundgren.
Oh, I didn't know he was from down there.
Yeah,
yes.
that's where he was from, Philadelphia.
And that was on Elektra.
That was on Elektra, yeah. And I remember Todd saying when we finished that record, this is a great record. Don't let them screw it up.
It was a very good record.
It was
Explorer Suite was on.
It was that was on Elektra too. That's what I was going to tell you about when we were recording our 2nd album at Intermedia, and we had spent so much money on the first record. We were at Davlin in L.A. We were at Cherokee. Then we did some work at Electric Ladyland in New York.
Nice.
And then we finished it at Trident in London. So this was all fun, but then we saw how much money we were spending, and of course you've got to pay it back. And on tour, we were touring, these national tours with the tour buses and the hotels, and we were just, hundreds of thousands of dollars going into debt. So we started to reel it in ourselves. So we were recording at Intermedia, And we got a phone call from actually a promo person that we had met in Montreal, and she called up and asked for us, and she said, you know, the label's going under. So we heard it.
Oh, no.
So we're in the middle of making our second record, and the label went away. So Infinity actually ended up having about 40 groups on the label, and they were supposed to only have 10 or 12, so I don't know how that happened. But when it went under, MCA only wanted 4 groups, and we were one of them.
Ah, nice.
But there was some MCA kind of stuff going on, you know, with not paying, and so we lawyered ourselves off of MCA. Now, as I look back, maybe that was a mistake. But we went with Elektra, and Elektra just did nothing for us, unfortunately.
But you don't know. Hindsight's 20/20.
Yep.
You
Always.
don't know. I'm going to ask Lisa a couple of questions, but before I do, the Elektra deal, how did you land that?
That was just, actually, Rick Alibretti used to work for Elektra. He was a vice president of O'Coin Management, and he was sort of the lead, you know, pointing us in that direction. But to give an example of what Elektra did for the band, we were actually playing a large concert club in Tempe, Arizona, and like about 1,500 people, and was sold out. And sometimes we had limos. We weren't paying for them, but the local promo guys would bring us in a limo. So we came up in a limo, and the people are all standing around waiting to see the band. So we thought we'd go over and, you know, greet some of the fans. And we said to them, now our new record had been out for 2 months. So these are our fans. So we said, so how do you like our new record? They said, what new record?
Wow.
They didn't even know we had a new record out. So how bad is that?